How does pain and failure determine what you become? Pain is lighter fluid. It is a fuel that can ignite fire. Pain can be a catalyst for greatness. If you've watched movies like Iron Man, The Black Panther, or Gladiator, you've seen heroes driven to their knees in pain, only for their pain to be the source of their power. All heroes have origin stories. Whether it's a little boy that helplessly watches as his parents are robbed and murdered and becomes Batman, a little girl that watches her home set on fire and loses everything to become Wonder Woman, or someone or something that you know personally, someone that you know that suffered and turned suffering into success. I know a man named Unseen. He watched as his mother was raped at the age of 7. The rapist opened a window, stepped over him, and took his mother. His mother didn't scream or cry out because she didn't want the rapist to know that he was in the room, and she sought to protect him. He watched the entire thing. Unseen has dedicated his entire adult life to trauma reversal, undoubtedly to heal others, and undoubtedly to help heal himself. What is your origin story? Many of you have successes and accolades. The desire to learn is the desire to be successful. The fact that you're watching a TED Talk speaks to that desire. It also speaks to you having a winning mindset. But where was it birthed? Where does that drive to learn and be successful come from? What unseen pain motivates you to take action? Who or what didn't love you? Who betrayed you, rejected or abused you? Who told you you were simply not enough? What pain powers your success? Before the first grade, my parents divorced. My father became a single parent for the next 6 years. He was a very strong and capable man, yet he fell victim to the addictions of drugs, alcohol, and women. These addictions and these vices stole his greatness and attempted to suffocate mine. At a very early age, I was isolated and left alone for long periods of time. As early as the first grade, I came home to an empty house filled with the emptiness of not knowing when he would reappear. On one occasion, I ran away. I didn't run away because I wanted to leave, more so that I was a child that desperately wanted to be found. On another occasion, I took a knife and placed it to my chest. I contemplated hurting myself. Understand that the enemy of greatness desires to steal your talents and your gifts. Its desire is to take those and deposit them into the wealthiest place in the universe, a graveyard, the resting place for all unmet potential. As a child, I went to the Boys and Girls Club. I found myself sitting in the game room. The game room represented fun for a child. There was video games, pool tables, table soccer, ping pong, air hockey. But there was no fun as I sat there after the club had closed, listening to the hushed tones of adults whispering, "His father forgot about him again. What are we going to do?" I was taken to a Child Protective Service facility. We moved to Stone Mountain, Georgia. It was here we were going to have a brand new start. It was here that I was spat on and called nigger. Understand that my origin story and your origin stories will be filled with pain, roadblocks, and impasses. There will be notes of survivability, and ultimately determination of how it concludes is decided upon us. I met Jonathan in Stone Mountain. Jonathan was the only other black child in my class. One day, as Jonathan and I spoke, he said, "Why do you get mad when they call us nigger? We are niggers." The demons of my father's addictions ran faster than his ability to chase sobriety. And when they caught him, I again was isolated and alone. My last memories of my father are of him abandoning me and my best friend in the world, Pete, my golden retriever. He abandoned us for several days at home alone. After the second day of not eating, I found a frozen turkey in the freezer. I took that turkey and placed it in the oven and cooked it for 30 minutes. We ate. The unseasoned and uncooked flesh of that turkey filled the belly of a hungry boy and his dog. These events took place by and before I met the age of 11. At 13, I witnessed a school shooting. I was friends with the shooter, the little girl that was shot, and I knew the intended victim. It is here where I began to learn how to defend myself. In the midst of rival gangs and race wars, it was here where I made the decision that I will not die. That decision began the process of my pain evolving into my power. As a man, I became the vice president of a nonprofit organization that fed over 75,000 children in a matter of 6 months. The hungry boy now feeds children as his passion. I became the CEO of a company that coaches, builds, reinforces, and supports CEOs, business executives, world-class athletes, and youth to dominate their fields of choice. The defenseless boy now creates champions and superheroes. I became a member of an elite team inside the Texas Rangers Special Operations Division. It is here that we fought against narco-terrorism, transnational gangs, and human traffickers. The frightened boy now fights on the behalf of others. Understand that you have a powerful origin story. It is the story that you whisper to yourself. It is a story that only you hear. It is the story of victim or victorious. Your story does not have to be tragic, only defining. Greatness is not the sum total of some magical power. Greatness comes from willpower. The will to do the hard thing. The will to make yourself responsible and to respond with your abilities rather than your complaints, your settlements. All superheroes have a superpower. Your superpower is the human spirit. Since the dawn of time, humans have outran, outlasted, and outexisted everything that has come to take its place. And that power is at your disposal. I stand here not in spite of my experiences, rather because of my experiences. My experiences birth resiliency, and resiliency is my superpower. My fatherlessness drives me to be a good father. My emptiness drives me to be a passionate lover. My vulnerability drives me to be a warrior. What are you allowing to drive you? The moment that I decided to be the author of my story rather than a character in it is the moment that my pain began to evolve into my power. To do this, I had to love myself enough to walk away from anything and everything that required me to be and play small. History is written by men and women that are authors of their story. These people have taken the human spirit and utilized it as a change agent. They have utilized it as the natural effect, the eternal effect that changes things. What are you willing to change? Is your pain your liability?